Goodness, as always, so much to share today, and I promised at least one person I would try to make my videos a little bit shorter so you can take a few moments every day to just tune in and practice some life-changing tools with me. If it's your first time, welcome to my channel. I aming as LLD. I am LLD, Laura Lynn Danley. In fact, sometimes I'm trying to explain why is my my channel called I aming as, and you can watch several videos to figure that out. But this morning I went back to the book Oneness, as received and transcribed by Rasha. That image alone is just delicious. And I just randomly flipped open to a page, and this pretty much explains why the channel is called I aming as LLD. So this is chapter 22. If you happen to be someone who owns the book Oneness, reread this juicy, delicious section, page 229. So that she gives a little bit of a, I'm going to call those like summaries right after the title of the chapter, and probably to let us know what's coming in this chapter. So chapter 24, she says, the significance of the experience of duality. I don't know if I'm going to reference much here. I'm going to create a separate video so that these are shorter, but my gathering with my Maya Wisdom Circle every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, where dear one Trudy Woodcock brings us a message from High Priestess Lady Zakuk. You can learn more about that if you're interested. Ask me any questions you might have. And oh my goodness, she brought us a juicy topic today and a message, and the title was Fear, Friend or Foe? Great place to start. So I may do a separate video on that. And I brought that up because one of the things we talked about is fear sometimes is, this is a strong word, demonized. I said that we're talking about ego. I think sometimes we demonize ego. We don't, in spiritual communities, we've been taught, we've got to just completely get rid of the ego. Well, there's such a thing as ego strength, just as there's such a thing as fear being our friend that's there to get our attention, to direct us towards something that needs to be dealt with. And if we're in balance, we talked about today, so I was going to do a separate video on this. I can't help it when I'm excited. So let's get to the Oneness book and look for another video on fear, friend or foe. All right, but it made me think of it because just like the word fear or ego duality, we think of as bad. Not if you're listening to Oneness. There is no separation, but only the one. There is no separation, just the three in one. As above, so below, as within, so without, in Lakech. Alakin means I am you, and you are me. There is no separation, but only the one. Song I wrote years ago that came to me and through me, and speaks a little bit about duality to me. And so the significance of the experience of duality, she's going to cover a little bit in this. The purpose of the journey into the depths of humanness. There's purpose to it. The gift of experiences of adversity as a foundation for the experience of oneness. What? I mean, how many people rejoice in adversity when things aren't going quite the way you want them to, or you think you're struggling or having hardship? I don't think we think of the gift, it as a gift, but it is a gift. The gift of the experience of adversity as a foundation for the experience of oneness. Let that land alone. So I'm going to read just the first little bit and take what you like, leave the rest. I hope you stick around I love to read to y'all. So sometimes I'm reading, sometimes I'm sharing a mantra. Always I'm sharing tools to wake us up, to make us more aware, to give us tools on this ride through life, through the human experience. All right. Paragraph 1 the inclination to place the concept of God in an exalted position within the framework of a personal philosophy is at the root of all that holds one back in one's experience of God. I'm going to read that again. The inclination to place the concept of God in an exalted position within the framework of a personal philosophy is at the root of all that holds one back in one's experience of God. You may be going, huh? If you grew up in the church like I did, seems like so long ago, the way I experienced God. I mean, God's always been, and you may have a different word for it. You may not even identify as somebody who believes in God, but you may believe in the universe or Great Spirit or Christ consciousness, or you may just believe in humanity or love or life itself, whatever. That my experience for me as God has always been very strong from the time I was young. Now, maybe the way I experience now might be vastly different, but let's read on. For God is not within you to be worshiped or feared. Well, hello, are you talking to us too? Or even to be understood, but rather to be experienced and known. The very act of the exaltation of the divine creates a delineation between that divine presence and oneself, a state of separation that constitutes a barrier to the very connection that one most fervently wishes to realize. I think there's one more paragraph here. The God within all, the I am. Now I've say on previous videos when I explain why my channel is called I Aming As, fill in the blank with your name, Laura Danley. This does not feel like a belief for me. It feels like a knowing, and it's okay if it doesn't feel that way to you. The I am, the divine, God, universe, Great Spirit, whatever word, love. I'd be happy with just love. No other words, or light. The divine lives within. The divine in and expressing as the form, capital F, of Laura Danley. Throw out all kinds of names that are popping to my mind right now. So the God within all does not seek to be placed on a pedestal, but hopes to be discovered as the source of one's own essence. The God to whom you pray and from whom you beg mercy or miracles is no more capable of manifesting the answer to your prayers than you are. Not what you were taught as a child? The only difference between you and God is that God knows it and you don't. Maybe you do now. Maybe you already did before you got on this video. I love you. I love you. I love you. Want to say again real quick, I want to keep this to 10 minutes. Again, in our meeting today, Mind Wisdom Circle, we just talked about how we greet fear as a friend, use it as a tool, and how when we're in balance, when we remain open, relaxed, spacious, expansive, then we have our resources to respond appropriately to fear. And we also talked about the tools that we use, again, to not drive out fear, if we're using it as a tool, but maybe drive out density or darkness or negativity, or when we feel a threat around us. Sound's a big one for me. So check out, again, explore my channel. If this doesn't resonate with you, find something that does. Going to try to start using some shorter videos to just quickly share a tool that you could try or use each day. We did a mudra on probably the video that'll be shared right before this one. That's interesting. I didn't have this with me that day, so I couldn't post it. The Mayan symbol for word, the sacred word with which we create, looks like this. Could you imagine doing not a hand mudra, I'm calling it a tongue mudra. Can you sit and relax? Can you soften around that? Sit with your tongue out for a while. Do it every day for 7 days and see what happens. See if you at least become more conscious of. We've been using the word relax all year. Before I say or do anything, relax my body, my posture, my mind, my heart. I love you. I love you. I love you. Until we meet again. Bye for now.